Tanzania. In the shadow of Mount Kilimanjaro, the Pangani River is at the centre of a struggle for water. Poor rainfall in recent years has left the land, the dams, the people and animals thirsty for water. Demand is growing, even as supplies diminish. Without intervention, the outlook is bleak. Earth Report investigates the shortages, the conflicts, and the plans to safeguard the health of the Pangani River basin. The Pangani River basin in northeastern Tanzania starts high on the slopes of Mounts Kilimanjaro and Meru. From the lush foothills of these majestic volcanoes, the river travels 500 kilometers before spilling into the Indian Ocean. The basin covers an area of 48,000 square kilometers. Nearly 4 million people depend on its waters. But the future of this valuable resource is in the balance. Lake Jipe, one source of the Pangani River on the Tanzania-Kenya border, is dying. According to the Global Environment Facility, its water mass halved in the last 10 years. Low water levels and increased nutrients have led to a vast expansion of the taifa reed.
Wakati naanza kupata fahamu vizuri kwenye 50 sasa unajua 50 ni mtu.
My first clear memory is from the 1950s. It was a big lake. It was great and there were not a lot of reeds. If you left this place and went just there, you would already be in deep water. I made a living as a fisherman. I caught a lot of fish. There were very few reeds. The change started in the 1970s. The reeds started growing a lot. The lake is so small now, the reeds make fishing very difficult, and you can't get many fish.
A once thriving fishing industry has all but collapsed. The thick, almost impenetrable reeds now cover 75% of the lake. The limited area available for fishing is difficult to reach. To survive, many people have moved downstream to the larger man-made lake of Nyumba ya Mungu.
Nimekulia Jipe na nifika kule mwaka 65.
I was living in Jipe in 1965. At that time, life at Jipe was very good. Then there became a lot of reeds, and the fishing area was very much reduced. The water was shallow, and there was a lot of mud going into the lake when it rained. Also, the drinking water became salty. Life became very difficult there. So I came here with my family to find a better life.
Lake Nyumba ya Mungu also suffers from changing water levels. A year ago, it was almost empty. But this year, abundant rains came and it's full.
When the water dried here, we had to travel a long way. Life was really tough. We had to go right to the other side of the lake.
Nyumba ya Mungu is the regulating reservoir that supplies the 3 hydroelectric power stations located on the Pangani River. These hydro power stations could produce almost a fifth of the electricity for the entire nation. But in recent years, according to the World Conservation Union, the IUCN, they have been running as low as 30% of capacity. there's simply not enough water. Power rationing has been extensive. Too much water is taken out upstream by both agriculture and an expanding population. The fertile volcanic soil found in this area attracts local farming, as well as large-scale industrial agriculture, which uses a huge volume of water to irrigate their crops.
Where we are here at TPC, we have limited rainfall. So without water, we can't grow cane here. Even with the rain we have, the crop will die after some months. We have to irrigate our fields. Okay, we have two main sources of water, the river, and we also have boreholes. We pump water from underground. We are the last user on this river before it goes to the big dam. We've never heard about problem in the vicinity of TPC whereby there's problem of low water available from the people downstream.
The distance between users, both geographically and socially, often means they are unaware of their effect on other users further along the river.
The situation, in fact, it was really bad because water was becoming scarce, water demand has increased. There was no coordination between different users, especially upstream and downstream users. And even within a certain river ridge, you'll find that the same users are competing for the scarce resource. The management was conducted regionally. In each region, there was a water board, and that one was allocating water. And those areas where there was a national interest, they were allocated at national level. So those regions were not considering other users beyond their regional boundaries.
When the Nyumba Dam was built in 1965, the sole idea was to create electricity for the nation. Local and environmental issues were largely overlooked. This led to consequences downstream. This is the site of the Kuruwa Swamp, once the largest wetland in the basin. Not only has there been a very limited amount of water available, but the surrounding landscape has dramatically changed. This has led to tensions and conflicts between the communities surviving in this area.
Since the dam was built, this area has totally changed. There are now many problems with water. We're thirsty, and it's causing fights. When we take our cows to feed, there is no grass, and the cows are dying from starvation. If you look at the land in this area now, it is barren. The government has brought electricity, but I don't get electricity. Electricity is not water. It does not help me, and I don't have the money to pay for it. Before the dam, we got water from springs near here throughout the year. We now have to go to Ruvu to get water, which is very far from here. If we go with the donkey, we leave at 4 in the morning, and we don't get back until 2 in the afternoon. People who come here from other places, they come to farm in this area. They are very aggressive and rude.
Farmers moved to this area to take advantage of the fertile soils left behind when the swamp dried up. Competition for the limited water is rife.
Kuhusu maji Pangani, kwa kweli tuna tatizo. Na tatizo hili la mifugo limekuwa ni sugu mno.
But the main trouble is the cattle herders.
Wafugaji wana mpaka wao, lakini unakuta wanatupata huko shambani.
But they come here to our farms.
Kwa hiyo tuna matatizo makubwa mno jinsi ya wakulima na wafugaji.
The situation had become so tense that urgent action was needed to stop the escalating violence. The fair distribution of water was vital for peace. The Pangani Basin Water Office was established to manage the problem at a local level.
Before establishment of the basin water offices, the conflicts were enormous because people didn't know the concept of an integrated water resource management. Everybody has a right to overuse the resource which is available within his vicinity, but without considering beyond his area that there are people or there are institutions who need the same water. So with the establishment of the basin in 1991, we tried to educate people, to create awareness that water is everybody's right.
As tensions over the scarce water mounted, meetings between the disputing parties was crucial. Here at Soko Springs, there is water throughout the year. During the driest times, this oasis attracts people and livestock from miles around. Previously, tensions flared as the incursion of livestock polluted the domestic water supply. The Pangani Basin Water Office met with the separate groups to discuss their problems.
Wakulima, wafugaji na wachota maji kutokana na vijiji. Nikutana na vijiji mbalimbali.
The farmers, cattle herders, villagers, the NGO Pamoja and Pangani Basin sat together. We slaughtered a goat and came to a compromise over the water. Now we have separate areas for the different users. Since then, there have been no more conflicts.
Resolving the conflicts is only part of the solution. For long-term harmony, the Pangani Basin Water Office realised that reliable water was critical. That meant protecting the source of the water. Framing the river, lush, fertile soils on the mountain slopes attract widespread, uncontrolled farming and rampant deforestation. That led to erosion and soil degradation, exacerbating problems of siltation and excessive nutrient loads into the rivers downstream. With growing awareness, that's beginning to change.
Faida ambazo zinazipata katika kilimo hiki ni kwamba maji yote, mvua inaponyesha maji yote yanazama ardhini, kwa hiyo ninavuna maji.
Now, when it rains, the water is conserved. Also, the soil is protected and it doesn't drain away. This gully is in use every day. Before, when it rained, lots of water passed down here, making the gully deeper, and the edges eroded and took soil away. I protected the trees already here and added other trees along the edges like pawpaw, melonge and banana. Now the gully is not disappearing and I can harvest the fruits as well.
Replacing some of the lost trees helps conserve the water catchment.
This is the tree nursery, which is worked on by my wife and children. We get money for growing these trees. These trees are used for reforestation, and these ones are used to hold the water. If we conserve this area, then we will have plenty of water for us, and the excess can go on to Jipe, Pangani, and Niambe-Yamungu.
Throughout the river basin, traditional irrigation furrows waste water. As much as 85% of the water can be lost to seepage, leaks, evaporation and poor maintenance. Renovated, lined or cemented furrows radically improve efficiency.
This improved furrow has increased the amount of water available. With the extra water, we've been able to increase the crops, bananas, maize, vegetables and other types. I can't say for everyone else, but for me, things have improved 80%.
pengine 80% kama kitu hicho.
People get water according to a set timetable controlled by locks. During very dry periods, though, some get desperate and abuse the system.
Kuna baadhi ya watu sasa wale wa
There has been some vandalism, and sometimes people from downriver come up and shut off the locks and send the water back to the river.
Yakarudi kule mtoni.
Official permits protect people's water rights, ensuring water is allocated equitably.
Ukweli maji ni ya Mungu, lakini zama zile zimepitwa na wakati.
In truth, water is a gift from God, but it is time for us to realize there has to be proper governance of this resource, and the government needs to collect tax.
Lazima ufuate sheria zile za msingi za kuyatumia.
Even with the improvements, the demand for water is so high that only a few kilometers downstream, the rivers have stopped running altogether. By the time the river reaches the ocean, so much water has been taken out that seawater has encroached 20 kilometers upstream.
It's really an issue because some of the coconut trees are dying because of the seawater, and even some of the wells which are used for domestic water supply do get saline water. Also, some of the fish species are missing.
Pollution is widespread throughout the basin, affecting both livelihoods and the environment.
Pangani estuary is like a thermometer. It receives everything which has been loaded in upstream areas. The health of the estuary is not good.
Both the World Bank and IUCN point to domestic wastewater and industry, including sisal factories, as main causes of poor water quality.
Kwa shughuli za decortication,
for the process of decortication, every hour we need 10,000 litres of water. We get water from the Ruvu River, from Moshi, and after we finish using it, we return it back to the river.
Mtoni kwa matumizi ya kawaida.
The Pangani Basin Water Office regularly tests the water quality. Using their results, they work with industries to identify ways to reduce their impact on the environment.
Watu wa Pangani ni wanatushauri kwamba tujaribu kujenga pondi ambazo zinaweza zikaingia ile waste. Na sisi kwa sababu tuna mipango ya muda mrefu ambayo tutaondokana na kujenga hii sehemu hapa. Ndio maana tunataka kuweka korona yetu kutoka hapa kwenda kule badala ya kujengea hapa, kwa sababu eneo la kujenga ponds hapa ni dogo.
Although there are numerous polluters throughout the basin, so far there have been no prosecutions since the new national water policy was established in 2002.
We are few here within the basin. Is really a big issue. We are few experts here. We cannot go everywhere and be policing everybody. So we need to empower the community to manage the resource. We need to have an integrated water resource management plan. So we need technical know-how in those areas.
The Pangani Basin Water Office realised they needed support to manage the Pangani Basin.
IUCN is helping technically, is supporting, but with mentors from outside, with working with the Tanzanian team, just to build capacity. Pangani Basin, we are one of the 10 demonstration sites around the world to look into how people can sustainably manage and use water resources. One of the output is to disseminate the information gathered here into other basins in the country, in the region, in the world.
An international group of consultants are training and working with local experts to predict how changes in the distribution of water will affect the river basin. The Pangani Basin Water Office can then balance water supply with water demand. This year, the clouds built, The rainstorms spread across the horizon, bringing hope to the people depending on this heaven-sent water. Some, however, look to the future anxiously. The snow-capped peak of Kilimanjaro has helped fuel the river since time began. But the United Nations Environment Programme estimates that by 2020, the glacier at Kilimanjaro's summit will have melted completely, reducing the supply of water to the river. The amount of water available will always fluctuate. The Pangani Basin Water Office will have to adjust how the water is allocated. If they get the balance right, the Pangani River could become a leading example to the rest of the world.